when I serve food, it's complete. I have hors d'oeuvres, I have a first course, I have the main course, and then I have dessert. And so to me, the wonderful thing about serving food and expecting something in return, something, share something about yourselves, you know? If you don't know how to treat me, I'm going to show you.
Impolite or a bad dinner guest. So what I'm looking for are how do we find an appropriate dinner gift, and then what would be a definite no-no, a less than great idea to bring.
You know, people will ask me, which is kind of when they've been here so many times, will say, well, what can we bring? Well, it's kind of a silly question because you can't bring food. What do you bring? Wine or flowers or, you know, whatever enhances the atmosphere, but something that's not here. But sometimes when they keep asking me that, I say, bring cash. And that always throws them because they take it seriously. What? You want to bring money? I said, yes, we'll be donating to the poor or something. You know, I don't know. So sometimes I won't answer that question. I said, surprise me, but make it expensive. I say to them. So I like to play with them. But, you know, I said to a friend of mine once, your hands are always empty. They never spoke to me for 3 years after that. They turned around and left. There have been guests who arrived when you had a 7 o'clock dinner and arrive at 9:30. I'll open the door and say to them, I'm sorry, we've already had dinner. We'll talk another time. And then I close the door because I find it disrespectful. You know, it tells you who people are and their consciousness. You know, I don't like unconscious people. We're going through a very difficult time in the world, and it's all because people are not conscious of others. It's always about them. And so to me, the wonderful thing about serving food and expecting something in return, something, even if it's, you know, we used to write notes in the old days. A phone call, but texts now have become such a convenience. And I find it, why don't you just call me and tell me where I spent 2 days preparing this, that you can't afford a 5-minute phone call, but you'll text me in one sentence and that's it. So things like that, I don't approve of. I think people are, I think that kind of communication is shortchanges what, you know, because I want to be at times where you want to cook again. You know, if you're not going to share something about yourselves, you know, call me the next day and say, I had such a wonderful evening. Some people think it's enough when they leave or they got here, but they don't understand, how do you complete things? Completion is very important. Just like as an actor, you have an arc in your character. It's complete. So the same thing with food. When I serve food, it's complete. I have hors d'oeuvres, I have a first course, I have the main course, and then I have dessert, and maybe some Greek coffee or tea or whatever people need, and the wines. But I just find people are unbelievable. They don't understand what it takes to put an evening together. So
That is very true. That part, absolutely.
The old saying for me is, if you don't know how to treat me, I'm going to show you. So that's what I said.
There you go. So once again, the book is called Seducing Celebrities One Meal at a Time. And can you please let us know, where can we find more? Where can we find you? Website, social media? Where are the best places to find this book?
Well, you know, I have the podcast, which I just finished, The Lost Treasures, which is on Spotify. That I'm very pleased with because it was about, because in many ways I love being an archaeologist in some way, and that's why I took a lot of the journeys I did. So it really is about the Trojan horde, the Mycenaean horde, and where the Trojan War started. And the third one really is about Ulysses coming home. And so I explored that last year. So I wrote, for the last 2 years, I wrote this 4-segment podcast. And I'm now beginning to write another one.
Well, we will check out the podcast for sure. and we're going to be looking for the book everywhere books are found. We'll see you at Barnes and Nobles, at the Grove. It's been an absolute pleasure to connect with you and talk to you about family and food and delicious things. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Take care.